Hi everyone, it's coming up to Christmas, which is meant to be a happy time, but for many people it turns into a very sad time because their house burns down because of cheap, generic, unsafe Christmas lights like this set here. But the problem is there's been no other choice until this year when Firefly actually released the first branded Christmas lights here in the Philippines. They have an indoor set, which is this one here, and then they have an outdoor set, which is this one here. Now I apologize, I don't have any fancy Christmas tree or anything like that to show you these, but I'm going to tell you from a technical standpoint why you might want to consider these branded Christmas lights from Firefly instead of these generic ones that you can buy off the street or in some malls. It's really quite obvious why you should spend a little bit extra and get something that's safe instead of something like this. So let's get started. And since these lights are essentially very similar apart from where they're designed to be used, we'll just focus on the indoor set so I can get you a clearer picture on camera. So the first thing you'll notice when you look at the box is 110 lights, 7 meters. Of course these are LED, so they're very low power usage. But the important thing is DTI approved, certified product safety. That is very, very important. Now we know Firefly, we know them as a respected brand. They're not going to put a product out there that's unsafe. They're not going to put their brand on the line for that. So what difference can we actually tell between a quality set of lights and a cheap set of lights? Well, let's start with the plug. If we unplug it here, you'll see that it mentions a fuse, and if we push this bit out, you can see that each individual line of AC is fused. So if something does go wrong with this set, the fuses are going to blow and it's not going to catch on fire or anything else. So that's very important. And aside from that being a safety factor, it's also good for the life of the product, because if you have some power surge or something that manages to blow these, they are replaceable. So that is a very nice feature that it has these fuses built in. Another obvious indicator is the quality of the pins here. These ones here, look, I can bend it with pretty much no effort at all. These ones here are a lot stronger. Yes, I can bend it if I really try, but it takes a lot of effort. So just quality of materials. This one, look, you don't even have to try it. It just bends because it's such cheap metal. Now another important point is the insulation. I can tell you, I bought cheap Christmas lights before, and when I was hanging them, there was actually a break in the insulation. I touched the wire and I ended up getting a really bad electric shock. So quality control, it's just not there. They don't care because there's no brand behind it. They can make these as cheap as possible, send them out to the world, and it doesn't matter. Whereas Firefly have a brand to respect, so quality control is very important to them. And you can tell just from the thickness of the insulation here that there's a big difference. And in fact, we're going to cut this open so I can show you. So we'll just chop off the end here. There you go. And let's strip back some of the wire. So this gives us a chance to look at the wire and the insulation, and we'll do the same on the green one so we can compare them side by side. So we'll start with these cheap lights here, and you can see it has 7 strands, and if we look at the insulation you can see it's very minimal, not very thick at all. Now let's take a look at the Firefly one. So on the Firefly one we've got 10 strands and they actually feel thicker, and then this is the insulation. You can see it's much thicker. Now both of these are quite small wires, so honestly it's hard to portray on camera, but hopefully you can see the insulation is thicker on the Firefly, so you've got more protection, and there's definitely a much more substantial wire inside. Let's put the wires side by side. So the green one is the cheap wire. You can see there's basically nothing there at all really, and then this is the Firefly one. Look how substantial that wire is in comparison. I know this might be too technical for some people, but you know, quality wise they're not even comparable. And how about the electronics? Well, I cracked open the control box on this cheap one, and you can see it's basically just a PCB with 4 diodes, which makes a bridge rectifier. Not the highest quality. Let me show you. So you can see the wires are just kind of very badly soldered on. Probably not ideal, but it does technically work. Now let's take a look at the one from Firefly. So we'll crack open the control box. And in fact, that's actually very good. I didn't expect that, but I'm glad to see that. They've potted it. Basically, there's like a resin which is inserted and it gels over all the components for safety. So that's actually very good to see. But it does mean we can't see the components very easily. You can see this is a pretty tough resin. I'm not sure how much success we'll have here. Well, that is a very tough material. I've been hitting it with my chisel here. That's why it's got these rust marks on it, or these brown marks. I cannot get it to crack. So it's a safety feature, but unfortunately it does mean we can't see the components that they've used. But if you compare that, I mean, this is already a very good sign of quality electronics. Now at this point some of you might be thinking, isn't that a waste of Christmas lights? You've just destroyed that set. Well no, it's not a waste because it's education. It's explaining to people why they should be buying quality lights like this and avoiding lights like this. Really, it's, you know, we see this every year, stories in the paper where houses are burnt down because of cheap lights that aren't safe, or people who've had electric shocks because the insulation isn't very good. To give you an idea of just how weak this cable is, look, I can just snap it. It doesn't take any effort at all, even if there's multiple strands. Okay, that took a bit of effort, but if it's just one strand by itself, I can break this. Like, it's so easy, it's beyond easy. Let's try the same with the Firefly version. So we've got a single strand. This is not for camera, this is for real. In fact, that's not even breaking, that's just stretching. And in fact, look, you can see the indentations on my hand to prove that this is real. Let's wrap this around. Ready? I just keep slipping. Let's try again. That's not fake. Look at those indentations. That's how strong this wire is. So no, it's not a waste because I'm proving a point. If you want safe Christmas lights, go for the first branded Christmas lights here in the Philippines. And here's the good news. Not only did they send me over 2 sets to test and verify that they really are up to quality, but we are doing a massive giveaway. So check the post because we are going to be giving away a lot of these. And if you're out there right now looking for Christmas lights, my recommendation to you is go for a trusted brand, someone that you can actually rely on instead of those generics. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.